Hello everybody, I'm James Tobin, clarinetist here in Charlottesville, Virginia. And that is the District 13 Senior Prepared Bass Clarinet Etude, which is the same thing as the Soprano Clarinet Etude. And I have a tutorial out on the Soprano Etude, so you might want to watch it because some of the musical things that I discussed in that video are the same here. There are a couple of important details that you want to pay attention to here. And the first one that I think is important is to make sure that you play staccato where it asks for staccato and not anywhere else. Okay? It'd be very tempting to play that syncopated rhythm in the second measure in a lot of band music is going to be played staccato. But this is an opportunity in the second measure and throughout the piece to show that you can differentiate between staccato and legato. So if it's marked staccato, play it staccato. Everything else, play legato. Okay? Accents. It's really important to recognize that an accent is a burst of wind. The tongue can enable it, but it's a burst of wind, okay? It looks like a diminuendo symbol. The beginning of the note should have a burst of wind, and then there should be a diminuendo within that note. If you don't diminuendo, it's just a loud note. Look at measure 5. That's not an accent. That's just a forte, okay? So you need and one of the best ways to get in touch with that idea of a burst of wind is to cough. A cough is a burst of wind. Now, I want you to try to cough without, let me back up for one moment. A cough is a burst of wind. And for that to happen, there has to be a flex here in your core muscles. Please try to cough the smallest cough you can without engaging your core. It didn't work, did it? Even the smallest cough is this right here. So you could work on this, you could work on your accents and the nimbleness of the wind you use by maybe playing a C softly and just concentrate on and notice whether you find that easy to do or whether it's tricky. If you think it's tricky, then you should work on it a bit, right? But an accent, again, is a burst of wind at the beginning of a note that has a diminuendo, and it's very similar to a cough. There are some syncopated rhythms in this piece, and the one we want to start with is one I've already played for you, the beginning of measure 5, which is a syncopated rhythm we see frequently in music. 1 and 3. Measure 6 also has the same rhythm, it's just printed differently. 1 and a 3. In measure 2 and in measure 12, we have the 16th note version of that rhythm. So instead of ba 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 ba, we get ba 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 ba. And in measure 2 there, that rhythm is actually a lot easier to understand if we put a note on the rest. So like I just did right there, I would recommend that you put another D. So you're going to play F, E, D, D, C. And that will help you understand exactly how long that rest is and also how to play the syncopated rhythm in beat 2. And then when you're comfortable with that, you're going to take the rest back out. Let me rephrase. You're going to put the rest back in. It's really just an incidental silence in a line. That's all it is. In 12, we get that rhythm expanded upon. 1 E, E, 3. Ya, ba, 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 ba. The last couple of details that I think are important for bass clarinet players in particular is to make sure that you cross from first register to second register on time. I think that's kind of something that every judge is listening for. Please look at the second measure, please. Beats 3 and 4. Are your fingers prepared to do that? Or is there going to be a hesitation? Or worse? So you really want your fingers trained for them to succeed to cross on time. The same thing is true in the first measure. The same thing is true of the eighth measure. Anytime we cross, the judges are listening to see whether you can cross on time. I think the one last measure that I want to discuss with you is the trickiness of number 4, measure 4. It's tricky for two reasons. It's finger tricky and it's articulatively tricky. So I would recommend that you start by slurring this. And notice where it's difficult for your fingers to be on time and to play cleanly. For some people, it's going to be that D flat to A. And for some people, the D flat to A will be great, but then leaping from the A to the G will be tricky. And by slurring, you can really listen and pay attention to what your fingers are doing and then correct them. So you might find yourself, if you need to improve the D flat to the A, you might find yourself going. And that allows you to work on little repetitions of D flat to A, but within the context of the music that you're learning, which I always find more satisfying. If you need to work on the A to the G, and for other people, it's not going to be just the D flat to the A or the A to the G. It's going to be the 3 notes together. So you might do both things I just played, repeating D flat to A, repeating A to G, and then you might repeat D flat A G. All sorts of different things you can do to explore and teach your fingers what they need to know. The secondary issue with measure 4 is legato versus staccato. So this is D, 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 D. Really working hard to make sure the legato sounds legato versus the staccato. And you can isolate that too. You can do two things. You can say it, D, 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 D. And you can also play it on one note. I hope this has been helpful to you. If you have questions, you can email me at tobenclarinet@gmail.com. You can visit my website, tobenclarinet.com. I hope that you have a lot of fun preparing this piece and that you have a wonderful break as well. And good luck.